Now, the rest of the story.
Look at all them nasty bugs. So I'm fixing stuff. This is why it's always important to look over your machinery as you're maintaining them. This is off the combine. It's underneath the unloading auger drive chain. It runs the augers in the grain tank and all that. Big long chain, and the shield is largely there to keep the chain from slapping down, or probably from you sticking your head up into it. Probably part of the reason it broke is because I'm using it for a handle to pull myself up to grease it. So what I'm going to do, it's all cracked out through here, here. So I'll end up taking the grinder to it, grind it out, heat it up. I might actually drill out the end of those cracks and try to get them from, you know, continuing. And this is not a terrible fix. I can get it painted back up yet tonight from the looks of it, but this side was well on its way also. I'm going to try going through and doing it with the wire welder. I'm personally, wire welding is the best. It's straightforward, easiest for, you know, for farmer, simple farmer to do it, I guess. Another way I actually like to have done it in the past, and where I do it in the past, I'll actually take the torch if it's not a very thick steel, which it's honestly not. I'll actually go through, burn off the paint, and then either braze it, or you go through and you actually melt the, well, essentially like welding, but you melt it back together. Works nice, works for, you know, light duty areas where this is getting obviously enough vibration where it's going to crack out. But it's not a new machine, and, you know, I don't expect it to never ever break or have problems. We just try to keep up with them. So other than that, we've also been working on the combine. I don't have the corn head on yet. Beans are done. Ryan's going to pull some corn samples to see where we're at moisture wise. We're waiting on a sensor for the bean head. Yes, sensor for the bean head. The calibration, the sensors for floating, going across the ground. Our sensor on the left side has decided to go kablooey, and it's ready to be put back away in the shed. I gotta actually do some work in the header cart. That's what happens when you run into it. Otherwise, beans are done. They were kind of meh towards the end. They just kind of tapered off as they went. They started out strong and then just turned out kind of bland. It sounds like everyone is having similar issues like that. There's a lot of beans out in the country yet, but for us, harvest pace wise, we're sitting further along than what we had in the past. For only being what, the 5th or was it the 6th of October, I think. And we're done with beans, and corn is at least drying down. We've got a bunch that's under 20% already. Not a big proponent of harvesting 25-26% corn. I would just rather not do it. But let me work on this a little bit before I gotta go pick up Relina here really quick. Alright, well, somebody trusted me with fire. Took the torch and didn't heat it up to the point where I was trying to damage any of the metal. All I was doing is trying to burn the paint out of the way, and you can see a lot clearer where the cracks are and what I'm dealing with. This side had pretty much checked out of work early. It's cracked out on 3 of the sides that are there. All that was really holding it was this little bit right through here. Haven't really decided what I want to do. This other side, I'm probably actually going to take the torch, heat it up, melt it, and braise it on both sides. I think for what that is a product of this flexing that, because it's not, bugs on me, yuck. It's only cracked right here and not farther up. So that is going to require a little bit of chasing, whether or not I really want to try it with a wire welder or heat it up, melt it together, and then try to reinforce it with some braze. So it's a pretty straightforward, simple fix. Of course, I hate saying that because, you know, one broken bolt and that 5-minute fix turns into a day-long job, but I don't think it'll be that bad. Now let's see what I can do to mess it up. This is a product of just taking the torch and melting that metal all back together. It's all fused completely through. You can see where it's actually settled out a little bit. I did go through on both sides and made sure that it was liquid all the way through where that crack was, and I went beyond the end of the crack. I got away with this because it was just one straight line crack versus a spider web over here, and that might just be I'll start messing with this. What I want to do. I'm gonna go through as soon as I get this under control. I'm actually gonna lay some braze down on it, heat it up, and melt some braze into that. Just give it a little bit more support. So I don't know, that actually melted back really nice. All right, thank you. All right, I ended up going with the heat and braze route. I ended up going through on both of them. This one was spider web cracked out. Just, there was no way I was about to even begin to try to chase it with a wire welder. What I really could have done is everything I've done right now. I know I've splattered braze on it, but it's better than what it looks. I promise you that. I could actually go through and cut a piece of steel and lay it across there and bolt it on, but I just don't feel confident trying to wire weld it because I just feel like that's going to create more issues. But I went through, burnt the paint off, and then you see I got a little bit here where I started beyond all the cracks, and I torched it and melted it through the steel out the other side. That's fine. And I did it on both sides, and I went through and just heated it up and laid braze down across everything that I heated up to reinforce any of those cracks that had formed. So I'll clean all this off, get all the soot and everything out, and paint it. It can go back on the combine because it's looking, each passing hour it seems like we're getting closer and closer to running corn out. So this isn't a it'll make or break running the combine. We can run it without it, but it's more of a safety issue, and the fact that I do use it as kind of like a handle when I'm greasing the combine. So thanks for watching, guys. Might not have learned much, but at least you gotta see how I can mess up welding up a piece of steel.